Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodo tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. Wow, my audio really spiked there. That's weird. My name is Brendan.
And I am Commander Wolf.
I don't understand. I've been having weird audio. I was had a weird audio problem like recently, where like the gain was I could change it on my mic, but it wasn't being changed in the Audacity thing, so I had to like re-download it, and like it was all over the place, and then it just kind of fixed itself. So I don't know what that means, but hopefully it kind of just stays where it needs to be, because it's just been sounding weird, like something's been a little off with the audio. But hopefully this one sounds fine. If it's not, whatever, we'll figure it out at some point. Man, what's new with me? Dude, I'm just worn out. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so that'll be nice, I guess, to get away. But, I mean, vacations can be just, they can be just energy draining, too, because we're going on vacation, right? But we're doing, like, a bunch of different things and traveling a bunch of places to, like, try out a bunch of new things that, like, as a family or whatever. So it's like a whole, like, different kind of energy drain, because we're just going to be traveling to a different place, sleeping in a different place every single night, and so it's like a different type of energy draining, so yay, but hey, it at least is a break from the normal just going to work every day.
Yeah, I get what you mean, and like I'm feeling the same way. Like I started my bless you, by the way. I started my new job at Texas Instruments, and
yay,
it's like it's 7:30 when the shift starts, so I get up at like 6 a.m. to get, so I'm trying to go to bed earlier a little bit, but like even then I still try to stay up a little bit late to hang out with my friends, because a lot of them stay up and hang out only late at night. So I'm trying to balance life, and that I'm end up being tired. And the next 8 weeks, like I'm shadowing the technicians who have 12-hour shifts. There's 2 day ones, so it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then there's the night shifts, which, if I'm not mistaken, means it's going to be 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Dude, I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't understand.
It's going to be ridiculous for these next 8 weeks. After that, it's back to normal shifts, like 7:30 to 4, which will be nice. But like, it's like I'm going to be pretty tired. Like to make up for it, like the technicians have like days off, like full days off, so I won't be working every single day, but my sleep schedule is going to be completely altered for like 4 weeks. It's going to be rough.
That's going to make this hard, because it's just, we're so tight for time, and I mean, like, you can always make time if you want to make time, but again, I mean, JMR is not making it easy, right? I mean, JMR...
Yeah, they're going to be coming back, though, apparently,
keeps
this
delaying,
weekend. So.
And blah, 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 and now it's end of June for Marbula 1. I mean, they're making it hard, and there's nothing else either. There's no up-and-coming huge channel. Marble Sports is not taking over a new corner of YouTube again, and I mean, Marble Sports is kind of lacking the same way this podcast has been lacking, and that's... I mean, I guess it makes sense, because the more engaging the channels are, the more engaged we're able to be.
Sure.
If Marble League's coming out at a flurry, well, we're not missing an episode no matter how tired we are, because it's Marble League.
Yeah.
We have to be there for Marble League.
The JMR game apparently has a story mode now, so like if I on one of my off days, maybe I can finally play the game. I'm just like, I'm so not interested. Like I've not heard like it's like apparently it's not that much better than it was before. I don't know. It's hard for me to get back into it. I might do it just because it like people clearly want to watch it. The views on the gameplay videos are high. People want to see that. So maybe I'll finally play the campaign mode. But like, I don't know, man. It's like it's
don't release a video game unless you know that it will be good, especially if you're outsourcing where the job of the company is to make a video game. then wait for it to be good. And if it's not good enough, don't release it. Because, I mean, you got to have a game that's going to pull people back for generations. People still go back and play, like, Mario Kart DS. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, like, no one's ever going to go back and play the JMR game because it just doesn't have that replayability right now. And they should have
people are
going to
come back to make marble races out of it because it's a marble simulator. It's like, but you know. Yeah, Marble Earth Phase 2 coming out June 30th. That'll be interesting to see. We could have done a Marble Earth article. It's too late. It's like I didn't read one. Like I'm okay, Synth, if you're listening, I still love Marble Earth. I really do.
It's hard to read all those things, by the way. I love Synth, but I'm not a big reader right now.
I totally forgot. Today was a perfect day to do a Marble Earth article, and I just forgot to actually bring that up and read one. I've been so tired.
Yeah. Well, that's how we are right now. We're tired, and we're trying, guys, because like Marble Sports is in a rut. We want to see it grow at the flurry it was before, where people. Because I remember when I first started the show. And, of course, it was rough then because I wasn't very good at the show then. And there was a lot of crazy dramas and everything. But people were much more excited about all the information the show was going to offer and all the general discussion regarding Marble Sports because it was new and exciting. But not just that, it was like the community was super engaging and everyone wanted to be there. Now it seems like there's a lot of people that still really enjoy Marble Sports, but it seems disconnected from the channel itself. And just... I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a vibe, man. And I think a lot of it does have to do with the small decisions Dion makes, which is hard to imagine how some of those decisions, which seem completely disconnected from the community in some sense, could make an effect, but it creates a vibe. It creates a vibe where he pushes away the community, so the community is not like, it's not drooling over every little bit of information that comes with a new video, and then the schedule for them is going. So it's like, it's losing some of its engagement factor. I mean, obviously, this sport began in 2016, and at the beginning of every single sport in history of all sports that have been made, there has been rocky roads and ups and downs because people are figuring out what they need to do. But I mean, we're in one of those times. I'm hoping it comes out. I think some of these other passionate channels are shining right now, like RML, which, by the way, continues to grow pretty consistently. I think they're up to like almost 4.5K subs, and last time I mentioned them, they were at like 2.5K. So they're growing slowly, but they're growing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And, some of the other, like there's this other channel called We Race Marbles, who right now is just posting shorts, but I mean, eventually he's going to start posting videos. Why do I know that? Because I'm kind of working with them. And they had a big short that brought them up to about 6K subs. So they're trying to go viral and then settle into some long-term videos after they have the watch base to make it make sense. So, I mean, there are other channels working on it who do have understanding of quality. I am very happy to be the broadcaster for two of them. It's going to be exciting if they both keep moving. But, it's... Marble Sports is in a transition period, as I call it. I know we're still in the intro, by the way, whatever. Marble Sports, if JMR can't post a Marble 1 video for a month, then whatever if we're still in the intro. What was I going to say? We're in this transition period, I think, where JMR is settling and not necessarily gone. Like, I think they're going to be around for a long time, and I think they could make a revival where they come back riding another trend, and then they're big again, and then they hopefully make better decisions or whatever. But they're settling, and so it's leaving this room for other channels, but it takes a time for other channels to grow no matter what it is. So I think we're just in that transition, but I think, look down the line a year or so, you might be like, wow, Racing Marble League's at like 20K now, or that other channel went viral again and they're at 50K. Like, what? That's kind of getting big. And then, people are really starting to know those names, turn to those channels, understand those lores, join those discords. Then things start to move another direction. Now it's new, exciting, and engaging. And if those people play their cards right, I would hopefully, at least for those channels, if I'm working with them, try to push them in the right direction as far as listening to their community appropriately. Then that could bring a whole new age of excitement where people are like, man, I want to listen to podcasts about this again because I want to hear what's going on. I want to be a part of this new, awesome, fun thing. But in this transition period, everything's just kind of lacking. My goal, though, is to stay with it, just keep bringing you guys these, keep enjoying the JMR content, and keep going. And because it really was an investment we're making to come in at the start of this sport, really 2 years into this new sport. It'd be like if I started a podcast when like baseball was 2 years into the first time someone ever played baseball, and was like, oh well, maybe it will become something big in the future, and you know what it did, right? And we don't know where marble sports could go. I just know that it is good. And if the right choices are made, this can be as engaging as anything else. Mm-hmm. It can be, it's as engaging as an esport. So, at least for a viewer, think about it. Most viewers for esports are never going to be nearly good enough to be able to compete in those sports. Yes, I guess they can play the game on their own time, but like for esports, most of the enjoyment is just really just watching what's going on in front of you and knowing you're not going to be able to repeat it. So marble sports has that same kind of ability to it. So I think this has a lot of potential. It's just it takes time to grow. So we're at that 2 years into baseball podcast, but we're going to try to really wait it out. And things might be inconsistent for a while and weird and whatever, but we stick around a while, might pay off in the future. A lot of things in this community have already started and died. And, we're still sticking around here talking. So
we're still here. And your fans are still here. Like the views do go down a little bit whenever JMR is not as active, but like our views still are consistently over 100 like every week. And that's just on YouTube. And like that's just kind of crazy. Like I do appreciate you guys. I don't think we say it enough, but like thank you so much for like constantly listening to us. I don't know why you enjoy us so much, but thank you.
I do second that. For the little bit of the community that decided to go for the ride with us, right? You're still here. And I know that because if I go and listen, I'm on the YouTube, I'm on the Chrome. You're going to see some background information. I'm just going to go over to the podcast. Actually, no, I think it's on. Let me go to the podcast account here. I just pulled up my other channel by accident. By the way, Marble Guy, my other channel, I've been going off on GD. I'm just letting you know. I've been going crazy on it. So you can go check out my channel. It's called Marble Guy. You can see it right here. Anyway, I know I just plugged that, but whatever. So if we go here and to, God, where is it? I guess it'd be manage videos. Here we go. So if we go here and you look at views here, it is ridiculously consistent. I'm going to go back a couple pages just so you can see this. Like down here, like, and some of these actually are really nice. Like this random one here, 101 had 504. Oh, because stints. 543 randomly. But like, look at these. Like, and the smaller numbers, of course, on the news thing. So those always get a little less because most people listen to the show, get the whole news segment anyway. So you don't need to watch both. We had a different idea for what the news segment was going to end up like being able to be, and it just didn't happen the way we thought. So this that separate segment might even end anyway because the people who want to be here will watch it in the regular, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
People who watch this have probably already heard the news.
So look at these numbers: 543, 177, 266, 195, 294, 254. 137, 260, 267. Look at all these numbers. These when these first came out, like 2 weeks after these episodes came out, were all around 200. You see, we dropped down to a 120. Oh, no, that was on the news. 167, 144. But, like, the views are, like, all consistent. And, like, I know they're small. So, because we're a small channel that's covering a very niche subject. So, again, until this grows, we're small. But, to see all these 200s, like, consistently, it's 200s, 150s. Sometimes we'll drop down, like, 127 for Il Plinko. That's my name of the episode. Wow. But, like, 192, 178, 200 back here. 201. So there is a semblance of consistency here to that the people who always listen continue to listen. And I just scrolled through about a year and a half's worth of podcasts because there's like I just scrolled through like the last 60 or 70 or something. That's a year and a half, and look like it's still the same numbers, which I don't know. I just find that awesome because it means the people who came for the ride still want to be for the ride, wait with us and just bide the time with us until it happens, until it gets big again. So I appreciate that. I really thank you. Again, I guess what I'm getting to is thank you guys. We appreciate you a lot. If you have like ideas for these drier times on what you guys want to see, an mswpodcast@gmail.com. You can always email in and talk. Every time you guys email, that gives us a new topic to discuss on the show for a moment. We always enjoy all that. that being said, we're just trying to.
Yeah.
That was really just to kind of talk about where we are right now.
Yeah. Either you guys are asking a question, I'll answer here just in case anyone else is curious. The reason why every episode of the podcast is copyright claimed is because the news music is not royalty free. We just haven't bought a license for it because the show doesn't make money yet. We have to have 1,000 subscribers. So the moment I have 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna send it hey, can you go and remove the claims from all these? It's gonna be so many. I'm probably gonna give them extra money because that's hundreds of videos.
I think he can probably do that all at one shot though.
They might be able to, but just because of how much we use in music, I'll probably still give them a decent chunk of change because it's a pick your price thing. But I feel like because of how much we've used it, we should give them something decent.
Yeah, I mean, bless those who bless us, right? And that news music has carried us a long way. So I would probably drop $50 on them or something.
Yeah, 50 sounds like a good number, honestly.
Yeah, and then and be like, hey guys, you guys don't know what you've been supporting for a long time, but you've been supporting it. Chat. I don't know. So, all right. But that being said, let's wrap up the intro. Basically, the show is kind of chill tonight because since we don't have much JMR, we're just gonna cover one email, mswpodcast@gmail.com. Please email in more. We love when you email in more. Alex, where are you, man? We need one of your long ass emails. Come on, man. Chat. All right. So we're gonna cover an email. We're gonna talk about Hisense for a minute. Which wonderful, I guess. I didn't really care for it that much. It was okay. And then we'll just wrap it up and keep biding our time till JMR makes more returns. We get towards that next Marble League, which I am excited for. That will bring excitement back. And, of course, as those other channels grow. So let's head to the news, and we'll see you on the other side.
Marble Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. We've got some very sad news to get to, so let's not wait on it. First up, something more positive, we have Race 5 of the Racing Marble League Season 3, the Snake River Speedway. As the name would suggest, it's a very windy track full of several S-curves. The racing was intense, with marbles moving up and down the standings back and forth throughout the entire race. But by the end, Blue Falcon came in first, followed by Serpent Smart in second, and Sacred Snow in third. Crimson Lady didn't do too bad this race. However, the owner was still concerned about her previous performances, and so they had Crimson Lady see a doctor. After some x-rays were taken, they found that there were 3 external chips and several internal cracks. This wear and tear on Crimson Lady's body has likely affected her performance throughout the season. To protect her from being injured any further, she's been retired from the Racing Marble League, and she will not even finish Season 3. It's a sad day in marble sports to see such an incredible racer leave the track, but perhaps she can return as a coach. Regardless, she will always be remembered as one of the greatest marble racers of all time. Well, that was the news. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
All right, we are back from the news. Okay, let's just do emails. Let's just do it. All right, so we have one email from Adu, so we're going to cover these topics, and let's see what he says. So he says, don't blink. Movement is restarting. Just as we were talking about a rut. Adu has something about movement. Let's see. He says, we blink and M1 is already lurking at the corner, about to come back. I mean, come on, hearing that sentence. Why is there a big break? Why? Season 1 didn't have a big break. Actually, most of the seasons of Marble League don't have a big break. Why is there a big break in M1? I don't understand that. I really don't. And now we're saying sentences like this, like excitement, like, whoa, look, M1's coming back. Well, it should be back in the first place. It should be here.
It's because of what we've said this. I think you specifically said this years ago about how the more things they're trying to do, the more thin they get stretched, which means the less time they have to develop the other things and also just burn out.
And that's what's happening, I guess. But it's like, come on, guys. Come on. Well, okay, yeah, I guess M1's coming back. Yay! It should already be out, but okay. The JMR game was recently updated with a story mode. It's odd from what I've seen. Well, I guess it's worth a try. I mean, again, the game needs to be more skill-based to be fun. Like Marble It. It needs to be more like Marble It Up to be a good game.
So I do know one thing. Like, Synth posted a screenshot of something in the game that he was very upset about. I am too. It's like there's like prompts for like things that could happen. Like, you as the manager, how do you deal with this? And like one of them was like, there's like a new strain of the flu coming out. Like what should you do? And like, the problem with that is, like, even Dion said that marbles are immune to everything. Yet this gaming company is now basically going against all the lore, like saying, "Oh no, the flu exists in this universe and marbles can get it." Like, really? Come on.
I don't really understand the angle here. Like, if I'm making a marble sports game and trying to tap in to the excitement of marble sports, then what I'm doing is I'm making a skill-based game. Yeah, I would take time to write out a story. Yeah, I would take time to manage a team and understand how that would work and integrate it past something like Marble It Up, where there's actually specific competitions and tournaments and everything, and make it more Marble League-y. But the idea would be skill-based, where it's fun to race the marbles. One of the biggest problems with marble sports as a whole, one of the biggest devil's advocates against this whole thing that we support, is that you can't participate.
Right.
Which, no matter how much we sit here and enjoy and pretend, we can't participate. That's the basis of this whole thing. We cannot. I mean, it's just the way it is. So if you're going to make a game to try to bring to life more the marble sports, aspect so that fans can engage, well, then make it a skill-based game so we can participate. So we can unlock the only thing that the channel doesn't let us have. I mean, you're really just making another JMR channel, except you can click a few buttons along the way. It's not a good game. Unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, and then you have to stay connected with the lore. But see, again, I think it's just Dion and Yella. I think there's a miscommunication between the two brothers, and I think there's a lot of time wasted just with misunderstandings, and so that's why, like, they're not all on that same page, firing on all cylinders with the lore in the game, firing on all cylinders with getting the right content out at the right time, and having the right plan, and making the right post on Twitter and in the community tab that accurately reflect everybody's opinions from the JMA and Gel and Dion and the rest of the people who work on the channel. It's not all on the same page, so the channel is floundering, the community engagement is low, and so on and so forth. And so, I mean, it just all shows is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The game is just another analogy for where the channel is at currently, which is sad because I love marble sports and I don't like to see it like this, and I want to see it grow, which is why I'm clinging to the Racing Marble League, and I'm clinging to We Race Marbles to be there for us right now. By the way, go check out those two channels. At least the Racing Marble League, their content is exemplary. Here we go, rest of the email. But Crimson Lady sustaining damage, Racing Marble League. But by the way, Racing Marble League is the majority of Adu's email, and JMR's one sentence. I'm just saying. That's where we're at now. But Crimson Lady sustaining damage from nearly 3 years of hard racing, being declared unfit and pulling out from the RML season. Now that's a story. Damn right, Adu. A game-changing one. Will she move to a coaching position and introduce a new contender? Let's see what comes next for everybody. The championship is really tight. I didn't expect Serpent Smart to be such a high position. Great improvement from them. So we have one. I guess the two topics we're going to cover. We're into one of them here. Thank you, Adu, for bringing us there. And that would be Crimson Lady actually retiring mid-season. This is season 3 because of a palpable injury. And so to talk about that, I mean, Waff, if you want to start us off, your thoughts on it.
Yeah, and actually, if you want, you can pull up the image of it. Basically, Crimson Lady, like, after like having some very low.
Sorry.
It's on the community tab, I think, for RML, if you want to check it there.
Wonderful.
But like with Crimson Lady's bad performances recently, the owner actually asked them to get checked out, and they say it was X-rayed. I'm pretty sure that what happened was they just put a photo filter over it because it doesn't look too different. But like basically,
no, it does not. It's funny that they did that though. I think that was creative.
Yeah, but Crimson Lady, but you can see from the image like Crimson Lady does have like some outside chips, and according to the head of RML, there are actually like 3 internal cracks. I just can't see them in the image. Don't doubt it though. So basically, Crimson Lady has sustained damage over time, and it's affected their ability to actually roll on the track, which has led to them performing worse. And so the owner of Crimson Lady has made the tough decision to pull them from the season completely. They're not even going to finish season 3. And that's crazy. Like, I actually made my first comment in the RML server for the first time talking about it. It's like, personally, I think Crimson Lady should be allowed to finish, because even with her damage, she managed to place decently in race 5. Like, her chances of winning the season are so astronomically low that it almost wouldn't be worth. Like she person have a chance, but even then, like, let the champ have her final race, you know. But at the same time, I can understand that maybe not wanting her to go through and potentially shatter into a million pieces, and like, it is what it is. Like, it's kind of crazy that this happens after the episode where we talk about team retirements being a thing. Like the timing of that was just like, wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's weirder than you think. This is absurd to me. Mm-hmm. And now that we're really focused on it, by the way, this is going to end up being, at least for this small segment, an interesting episode, but one that probably will end up being overlooked because I spent the first 10 minutes just being a little dejected. But this is absurd, isn't it? I mean, absurd. We've never seen this before, ever. I mean, and JMR has been going on for a long time. And Yella is very careful with his marbles. And Yella has put the marbles to a lot of crazy...
Did you forget Momo?
No, but like that was a little different, because that was like based on a very, very visible, direct collision with another marble. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And with very obvious problems, like
a
fidget spinner spinning faster than your eyes can move. Shit, you know, which is actually true. That's why it looks blurry. Whatever. But the like this is kind of absurd, and like what I'm saying is, like, Yella's very careful with his marbles. So Yella wouldn't, if Yella had like a Crimson Lady situation where he saw a lot of cracks, he would remove marbles and we'd know about it. So it's just weird to me that, like, just through regular racing, it wasn't even necessarily the marble booster, since we heard the racing marble guy explain how he pads that thing down.
Yeah,
so
and
just
that's something like, very interesting to talk about. But
Yeah.
I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Just through track racing, just through normal Marbula 1 type colliding with other marbles racing, this marble has suffered some real damage. And the odd thing is, this marble is one of the fastest marbles. It's not like saying Polyonyx is injured and getting out of there. I mean, this is a strong marble that is good at playing the field. So it's very, very absurd and like ridiculous almost to hear that this is happening. Like, how? Like, physically, how is it going on? I mean, it isn't, like I just said, it isn't like Crimson Lady ran into a fidget spinner and then ran right into another marble and suffered a big chip. I mean, these are internal cracks. These are long-term worn damage. And so it's very odd for sure. I don't really understand. I trying to pull on where this might have came from, but I'm coming up a little empty about how really this could happen, especially since this is the first time we've seen this, and all the other marbles through RML that have raced the same amount of Crimson Lady don't show any signs of this at all. I don't understand.
Yeah, so I kind of, it was a brief open discussion with the creator, like in the RML server, basically first of all, like the description of how it works, like there's padding at the top of the launcher so they don't like just smack into it, and then it's basically like a snail shell shape where they spiral to lose momentum before coming out, and there's even actually a one-way door that keeps a marble from falling back down, which I had always wondered about. Is like, how is a marble not falling down the booster? That's why they have a thing that makes it almost impossible for that to happen.
So I guess
there's
it shoots up through the one-way door, and then the one-way door kind of like closes after it. So like, if it falls down the one-way door, it just rolls down this slope onto the...
Exactly.
Interesting.
And like he explained that the reason why it's like you notice sometimes like a marble will come out a lot faster from the booster than others. That's usually because a marble probably, instead of hitting the cushioning, is hitting like another marble, and thus it's keeping a lot of its momentum and it's coming out. And that's one of his theories of maybe where the damage is happening is a lot of marbles were colliding, or even Crimson Lady herself was colliding with other marbles a whole lot, which resulted in more chips and cracks. And that's definitely possible. There's really almost no way to handle that with the booster as it is. But something else I wonder about was Crimson Lady used for anything else before being submitted to RML?
That's a good question.
Because
That's a good question.
Clearly, I mean, I still say race 5 was still pretty good for them, so I'm not sure how bad it really is. But I mean, the other races, Crimson Lady wasn't really performing at her best, and so if it was there before, it's definitely just gotten a whole lot worse now. But because I don't know, I can see the two outer cracks, there's the two divots on the in the image you can see, and but I guess it's so weird to think about how it happened that way, and seemingly she was good up to race 2 of season 3, I would say, right? Roughly?
Maybe 3?
I think 3 was when they started going downhill. It's I've been meaning actually to go back and rewatch some of the last few races just to see if I can maybe figure out what point did the shift happen at.
It's crazy. It is I don't know. I did not expect this is weird to see because it's not blatant. It's it's crazy that marbles could parallel the true because obviously there's injuries very very direct injuries if you want to parallel this to humans, obviously sometimes humans are playing sports and some guy just gets his leg snapped in half and it's whoa, Team Momary, I mean obviously that happens. But, I mean, to see this kind of more subtle injury that often happens, obviously parallel to human sports here, that slow wear and tear over time, where someone just is man, my arm isn't what it used to be. That's usually the sentence that follows.
Right.
And it's just that slow wear and tear. To see that actually manifest in marble sports is absurd. It's absurd to see that parallel. And because you think, oh well, marbles. I mean, they're a little delicate, but out there on the track, it can't be that bad. But it really is high impact. Marble racing, well, it is not easy even in the role play sense. So I mean, it's a lot of impact making an effect. And I mean, we're talking about one of the best racing marbles probably in the history of marble racing, now just unable to really show again. Truthfully, I was thinking of, Crimson Lady in the elite race is going to just pull as a veteran forever. Crimson Lady, I'd love to see her compete against the Savage Speeders one day, I mean, I never again. I mean, it's crazy to hear that. It almost is a little sad in its own way. Is. And it's just, it's a mystery in some degree, too, about how this marble, I mean, internal cracks are a lot different. I mean, you'd think maybe some chips, but, we're talking internal, baseline, the fractures. So, I mean, it is kind of crazy.
It is, and, shoot, I had a thought. How did I lose it? I think, for one thing, it is interesting, the difference between how Yella and RML have handled these injuries. For instance, Momo. While it's never been stated, we all know Momo is not the same marble as after that incident. There is no way that Yella, one, could glue it on in a perfect way that wouldn't ultimately affect and ruin that marble's competing in other events forever.
I just want to tangent this quick before I forget. There actually is technically a way that it could be fixed and you wouldn't notice, because when windshields get a little bits of little cracks in them, if they're not too big, there's actually fluid that you can put over the little cracks that will completely repair it and make it look like it doesn't even literally I guess whatever the fluid is like glass, and it fills the tiny cracks and it literally is new glass in some way. I don't know how it works. I've never seen it actually happen, but apparently they can fix little windshield cracks like that. So in theory, technically, I'm sure this didn't happen, but in theory, technically, you could apply the same process to Momo
Maybe.
over the crack, blah, 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 actually fix it. I'm sure that did not happen, and I'm sure you could also take it to a marble glass blower and do a similar idea with whatever melted glass. I'm sure it didn't happen. I'm just saying it is technically, earthly, humanly possible, and probably not that long of a process if you go to the right person or have the right tool. That being said, this was a little inset to the podcast back to WAF.
A Momo, although I wonder if they did the repair, they would be so different and perform so differently. But like, regardless of that, like, what's interesting is that Yella did not retire Momo from the team. They brought them back, like they recovered. Whereas here, it's like Crimson Lady, like she's done. And like, there's no like the people have their other Crimson Lady style marbles, but they're not gonna replace her because they would perform differently. And like, it's a very interesting at how they do it, and it's kind of leading back to like that discussion we had near the end of episode 129 about like if a team ever retired. Or like if you brought up like how like the team members can retire, but the team name could stay. Like they were all like, even if all the team members of Savage Speeders retired, like it's like in the Olympics, the USA team is still the USA team, even though it's not the same people competing as it was like 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or whatever. And like that the same kind of applies, I guess, to Marvel sports, since it's kind of an allegory to human sports. It's like. But this one is like, this is an individual team. Like, it's just the one racer. And so like it's just so weird to see that.
Yeah, and it by the way, just shows the difference between the structuring and kind of style of JMR as compared to something like Racing Marbles. And JMR, Momo is Momo. And Momo will always be Momo. There will always be a Momo. Okay, on the team. It will always happen for as long as JMR decides to keep going on.
Mm-hmm.
But in Racing Marble Leagues, whatever. There doesn't need to be a Crimson Lady. I don't care how many times in a row they win. By the way, the only marble to have won 2 consecutive championships. No one in JMR has completed this. No one in any other area of marble sports has achieved this feat. Crimson Lady is the only one in the professional elite marble sports environment. Obviously, someone at home with Team Blue and Team Red, Team Green might have had a repeat Team Green in their little homemade thing. But I'm talking about in professional produced elite level, I would say professional level marble sports. Crimson Lady is the only one to repeat champion. Amazing. But you know what? There doesn't need to be a Crimson Lady. And Racing Marbles, that's the way they roll. There doesn't actually need to be a Crimson Lady, and if Crimson Lady is out, Crimson Lady is out. No one needs to be a new Crimson Lady, and probably won't happen because it's more individual based. It's more based on who is the fastest marble currently. That's kind of their MO, their kind of slogan. The idea of the Racing Marble channel is to find the fastest marble, and also to advertise, I'm putting these in quotes too because advertise the 3D printed track that they're making so that people will buy the shit. And I think it's kind of working because a lot of people want to buy the shit, and they're also really good tracks. Yeah,
they're
so but the other slogan, the other motto besides "this is an advertisement but a really damn good one." It really is. This is the best. If this is an advertisement, this is the best advertisement I've ever seen because Racing Marble League is excellent. But the other MO is that we want to find the current fastest marble. That's the initial presentation of the channel. We want to find it. And so it's not based on, we just need to make sure we have these 16 teams every year and whatever. No, it's like we want to find the fastest marble. So everybody submit marbles, and we're going to run them through the tryouts. We're going to run them through the B League. We're going to run them through the A League and weed out. And every year, faster and faster marbles will continue to occupy that A League. Mm-hmm. And if one marble gets injured and fractured, well, then she's gone. I don't care how many championships she's won in a row. And it's not in a cold manner that it's said. It's more in like, that's just the way it is, and that's fine. And that's what all the marbles are racing for. It's just a different style. And so it is interesting to see a marble just gone that's been so good. Probably, like I said, very, very, like, too good in some sense. But that's just the way that it happens in this league.
Yeah, another big difference that I think we've almost missed here is, like, in JMR, like, the Team Momo is a concept that, like, everyone kind of, like, gets behind. But Crimson Lady was a literal marble that someone sent in by mail to represent them. Like, that is way more personal, and I can definitely see why just replacing them isn't really an option.
Yeah, it's not. It is. The personal touch makes it like that person's marble. I mean, that marble, who knows, right? That marble rolled around that person's house. That marble was accidentally touched with peanut butter fingers or whatever and had to be washed off before sent in the mail. You don't know. that's just that person's marble. Crimson Lady belongs and lives with that person. I'm sure they don't want to see Crimson Lady in 2 pieces. I'm sure that marble will be going back to them.
That's true.
And they're going to put that on their shelf in a little glass case or whatever. And say that marble won. And then pull up the videos of that marble's old days when people are like, wow, that's a nice marble.
Yeah, and
then my voice will be there for those moments. By the way, it's a little surreal moment. That person's family or friend moments where he gets to show Crimson Lady on the screen is accompanied with my silly, wonderful commentating voice.
That is kind of crazy.
Congratulations, sir.
I was very I probably kind of understand like why they made this choice they did to pull him out. It's like I imagine like if something similar happened to Spitzer in NASMARB, I would feel really bad if I made Spitzer continue to race only to then shatter into a million pieces in the middle of a race.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, I just did that to my baby. It's like, what have I done? So I can totally understand. Like as much as it sucks to see that Crimson Day doesn't get to finish the season, I can understand why they wouldn't want to risk that.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with the same kind of thing. It's like, I mean, I love having my replica of the actual car that raced from NASMAR, my MSW car, which, by the way, won Best in Show design-wise, just letting you know. Like, I love having that car in full form, sitting there. I know we'll never race again unless I do NASMAR, but, I mean, really, when am I going to have the time? Maybe in heaven I'll have the time. I'll spend a million years doing a NASMAR or something. I mean, I'm only really half kidding. If heaven's really infinity, I'll be able to do NASMAR a million different times and still have infinity time left over to do other things. Okay, that's true, just mathematically. But that being said, like it's just gonna sit there. And then if someone's like, "What's that car?" I mean, I guess, and if they were really curious, I guess I could pull up NASMAR and the whole thing. But it's really just like now it's a thing. I just get to remember the memory of the time and the people. I mean, it's that personal touch.
It is. I did make a suggestion in our mail server, and it seems like the owner really liked it. Like Crimson Lady could maybe be a coach for a new racer, like so you could see them in like the pit lane, and like that would be a really cool way to see them involved.
I would like to see. Oh, sorry, Richard comments on something you said.
Richard said like they hope he's running their track one more time, and that would be nice. Like if at the end of the season, Crimson Lady gets to run one last lap, that would be nice. I would like to see that. That would be a very nice touch.
Yeah. Well, one thing, and then I'm just going to transition us to Hisense real quick because we're going to wrap up soon. I would like to have seen Crimson Lady run the last race anyway, because I don't think in one race she would have gone from a couple internal cracks to exploding. So, honestly, if it was me, I would have been like, all right, let her finish out the one last race. It is what it is, and then she's done. Because it would have shown resilience. It would have fit with the character of Crimson Lady lore-wise. Because, like, Crimson Lady is the kind of... If you're going to win 2 in a row, then you're the kind of racer to be like, all right, I'm hurting a little bit, but I'm getting it back on the track. I'm at least finishing this season.
It's like the Karate Kid thing. Like, I'm hurt. You got to fix me, Mr. Miyagi. I got to go out there.
She would have come out with a crane kick, and then just... Whatever, but I would have liked to see that. I would have chose that if I was the owner, but the owner is the owner, so it is what it is. But I would like to see that. But let's just transition to Hisense because I'm not going to go for much, maybe 10 more minutes or so, because I have to pack and my family is annoying me because we're going on vacation. So I have to. I chose tonight while we have to pack to do this show. Just saying. Okay, so Hisense. Whatever. I watched Hisense and Greg, whatever. He was like, whatever, really. I mean, what is the whole idea of it is just, I mean, I get it. The sponsor thing, wonderful. And I'm sure there's some people who really enjoyed the idea of that and just like to see Serbia out on the track or whatever. But I honestly don't care for it that much. I think the track idea was cool. I think that's a kind of Marble League event I'd like to see at some point, like a one-way track. I would have liked for them to actually make the soccer field at the end like useful and not just cosmetic.
Right.
Like I thought it was going to be like you had to go down and try to score a goal. Then I would have been into it because then the whole race happens, there's a whole battle, and then you also have to score a goal at the end, and that could cause some cool comebacks, some cool change of paces. There could have been some really cool finishes, some really cool like just in general racing there because there's that extra goal at the end. Just like one of the races I'm planning to do when that other tournament for Racing Marble League comes this fall. We're supposed to do like a more Marble League type tournament, but he wants to have more racing styled events. But one of the events planned is going to end with balancing. So you go through the whole course, you race, but it ends with this balancing section where you come out at like a good speed, whatever that would be, and you can get points on the balance beam at the end of doing the other parts of the race, which is of course timed. So I mean, that idea, like same idea transfers. Like it would be cool to have ended with something that's for points. So then it adds this whole extra excitement to the whole race, because you're still like, all right, the race is going a certain way, but there's the points at the end. That could be cool. And they had the whole soccer field. I don't just do it. Like you could have put a ball at the tip, and then the person who was first hits the ball, and if it goes in the goal, I mean, there's a lot of different things you could have done there.
Or even just make the goal the finish line instead of the gate before
yeah, why
the
is
goal.
the goal not the finish line? Whatever. Whatever. JMR, whatever. But the whole thing was whatever. The countries, I don't care about countries. I yelled about countries in Quebec a long time ago. They don't mean anything to me. Serbia, Cameroon. Greg didn't seem like he cared about it either. I mean, he put his energy in, but he had a few trip-ups in his words that you don't usually hear. I think it's because he was just like, what the hell are we doing here? But, I mean, the racing was fine. The track, I will say the one good thing I really liked is that I wish that the way they made this track is how they actually made the Marbula 1 tracks, because there were so many different features. They had 2 different features with the little foam things, like the helices and the little bumps. They had a sand section. They had a couple really fun drops. They had a lot of fun turns. They had the bank in there randomly after a drop. I mean, those were all really fun ideas. But you're going to put it on the sponsor thing that no one cares about? I'm not even going to while I watched that video, I packed for this vacation. Because I was like, I don't care about Serbia. I got what I needed from that video. It was fine. Greg was cool. It was some decent racing. There's a couple cool passes. That double pass, there was a double pass, I think Serbia or something. That's what I'm remembering.
A marble got stuck on the helices, on the tip of the helices somehow.
Yeah, like whatever. I mean, like it was fine, but I mean, again, I'm here for the speeders and stuff. So
yeah,
whatever. We'll have fun for this.
Like, that is a good point. Like if the tracks, I don't know if they're still doing this, but at least older M1 tracks were always based off of real Formula 1 tracks. So maybe that's what they're still doing with the M1, is that they're constraining themselves to that. But if they didn't, if they were more freeform with it, like a Mario Kart track, and just being stylized with it, I think Marbula 1 would be a lot better. And I think they should definitely try that if they haven't already been doing that. And this is a good example of why that would work, because it looks more interesting. Aesthetically, I like what the Hisense tracks are doing. I do agree that the soccer thing, like, the weird thing is, one, it's more country balls, which we've said at length.
Yay,
when
country
talking
balls.
About Fubeca. Like, we're just not that into it. It's just not the same. But also the weird thing is, like, the sponsor only requested 1 video, but they wrote this as if they were going to do 2 to try and encourage another sponsorship.
It's weird.
Which makes it very awkward, because it's like, they I'm pretty sure it was meant to be like a one and done, like, oh yeah, the winners are this. But there's like, you know what, let's just say, like, oh, we're predicting the future winners. Like, hey, how about you sponsor another race? It's like,
oh yeah,
why did you do that, JMR? Why did you do that? Like, I don't know if that's really going to encourage them to sponsor more, but if they don't, that just now means that they have made a promise for another video.
You know what that means? Then the video completely sucks. If that's what that means, if there's no follow-up. If there's a follow-up and then an end winner, then that's cool. Because, like, like if you take something like the Cravendale Cup, that was a whole sponsorship, but that was at least fun because they had a bunch of videos and it was cool. And honestly, I don't dislike the Craven Milk Cup or whatever you want to call it. Craven Dome. I don't really care, but I actually liked the videos, and that was fun because it built up over many videos, but it was also unique in its own way. It had like milk related teams, and it was kind of cute. But it was also during the trending time. It was also when people were really excited about Marvel Sport. Whatever. It's better than this. This was a bad sponsorship, is what I'm trying to say. I not enjoy the Hisense that much, but if it comes back, at least it's a little better.
I forgot the locker room stuff before was actually really cool. All the stop motion, the tiny little towels and stuff. I liked that.
Yeah,
but it was cool. It was super obvious that they were plugging a lot of merchandise at the same time.
Yeah, even Greg had a little like extra 10 seconds of Hisense replay cam or whatever, just to make sure he got all those extra buzzwords in there. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the sad thing for me is that the video is useless because that doesn't work. I mean, like, there's just not enough people caring enough to watch right now. And again, it's like, it's weird that I say this because, like, you know, you'd be like, all right, well, talk to me when you have 100,000 people watching your videos. And fair enough, but I'm just saying everything's relative to the baseline. And JMR used to be a lot more engaging and better.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, it just all falls flat to me right now. And it's like, this is the kind of thing that would have worked as like a extra video between two Marble League events that both still came out on their respective Saturdays. And this would have been a Tuesday extra video, like, whoa, more content. And if you like FIFA, whatever, I don't even know what it was plugging. FIFA? I don't know.
Hisense, like, merchandise that's associated with FIFA.
Then here's an extra video, and it would have worked too. If they had it at that moment, it would have worked as extra content because people would have been so excited for the Marble League in a more peppy time. That extra content would have thrown them away. They'd be like, cool, that's a change of pace. Everyone would have bought the Hisense VR or whatever the hell it was. But now it's like, there's Marble one a month away again. It's just all whatever.
Yeah, like we talk about like Marble Sports dying down. Like, Marble runs have been continued, if not increased, in popularity again. Like, even like Marble runs have been the dominant content for marbles since pretty much the inception of marble content on YouTube. And though Marble Sports had its moment to jump in, it seems like marble runs are taking control again, which, I mean, it's the tried and true.
And this is worth an episode in the future where we really pontificate on this. But my initial thought, because just initials off the top of my head in this case, would be that, and listen, I could be completely off the mark with this, but I feel like some of that might be because JMR just made a big mistake. JMR did not proceed right, but people still want marble-related content. So marble runs are coming back into popularity because people are like, I don't really find consistency, so I can't stay interested in something like JMR because it's just so inconsistent, and there's other problems. And I'm sure there's a lot of inner community members that like to watch marbles roll, but straight away from JMR content for more, you know, serious interpersonal reasons. But it all kind of is moving away in a little bit because I think that might be part of it. And so, but people still want the marble content. I don't know. We'll have to. This is just off the top of my head, so we'll have to do a whole episode on this and really think about this more. But I mean, it could be something to do with that. Like, the Marble Sports is in. Like, people still want marble content, but people have to reimagine how to do Marble Sports, where it stays engaging, but JMR probably just made a few mistakes that kept it from staying. They almost got to to super huge, and they just fell short. I don't know. We'll have to talk some other time about it. We're also going to start to wrap up, but if you have any other extra thoughts, throw them
out. No, I really don't have anything else, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is bound to be a shorter episode. This is one of the few that's going to fall under an hour, but there's some urgency to this being necessary.
But it is what it is. We'll see how the end of season 3 of RML goes, as well as the return of season 3 of M1, how the second half starts off.
No, yeah. I'm excited for more. And then Marble League, of course, is going to get me excited again because as long as that's still going, I'm still going to be excited because I love doing all the fantasy, and I love Marble League. I love Marble League. I don't care. I love Marble League. That's why I don't know. We'll talk more about this some other episode about what better decisions could have been made and where we should go. But I think things are going to fluctuate back and forth, and Marble Sports will rise again because people want more structure and not just the homemade videos. I don't know. We'll see. That's the podcast. Roth, take us out before I say anything else.
All right, then. Roll on, Marble Sports fans.